Patch 14.9 notes for this episode of Let's Talk Jinx, as well as, by the way, since it is officially May 1st in the morning time because it's being hosted in China, MSI did start. If you are interested in watching that, viewing that, you root for an esports team, etc., that is a thing. Also, I am going to mention Vanguard again because I don't learn my lesson, but also because this is actually the patch they're deploying it out globally. So in case you have been kind of worried or you've been wondering or you're just curious about that, instead of all these, oh, it's coming, it's here now. This is the patch that it drops. The reason we're talking about this, especially though, Jinx changes. We actually got a Jinx change on this patch, as well as several other AD carries, but they've split the patch up a bit differently this time. So we're going to kind of swim through this and get to the different changes. There's the, like I said, there's the Vanguard. It is coming this time. So it's not like clickbait or something like that. It literally is 14.9, which as of now is this patch that is now live coming. They're going to roll it out. You're going to see it. You're going to see software stuff if you're compatible, etc. So that said, while we get the Lee Sin ASU for you Lee Sin fans out there, we're going to jump down to champions, which is they split in two. These are the bigger changes and the smaller changes. We'll just go real quick over everybody, but talk more about the AD carries and then Jinx. So, Action, the Q movement speed on champion hit is no longer scales with level. Damage to non-champions decreased. Our minimum damage per shot increased and maximum damage adjusted. Bel'Veth. Bel'Veth. Passive, bonus attack speed adjusted, Q damage adjusted, Q damage to monsters increased early game. Kennen, E damage range indicator added, R animation added, can now cast while moving. It's kind of weird that they're alphabetical, but they're split up, it seems. Nila. Q minimum damage decreased, bonus attack speed decreased, bonus damage based on critical strike chance decreased. Sejuani, passive bonus resistances increased, W damage adjusted. Skarner, mana regen growth increased, Q damage decreased, buff no longer refresh when hitting wards and plants, and W slow decreased. So then there's like these changes, which I guess are a thing, but you're here probably for the smaller changes because they house Jinx in here. So there we go. Ari, no. W damage decreased, R cooldown increased. Amumu, base AD and base armor increased. Aurelion Soul, E damage decreased. Blitzcrank, passive shield duration decreased, W initial bonus movement speed decreased. Well then what's the point? Because his W, when you use it, then makes him fall off like... Alright, whatever. Evelyn, W slow decreased, R damage decreased. Evelyn got the double whammy. That's about the double whiplash, if you will. Janna, W damage decreased, E shield increased. Okay, so playing with a Janna as Jinx might be interesting this patch. And then finally Jinx. Jinx R cooldown increased. Jinx is currently the most picked ADC in the game, and it's extremely not even close. That isn't necessarily a problem, but she's also performing much better than she ought to, especially in higher skilled play where we expect coordinated dives and flanking to more easily shut her down. As a result, we're taking a shot at one of her elite skewed aspects, her ability to throw out rockets in the early game just to stop recalls to gain tempo in lane. I'm glad Riot said this, because when I used to try and say this for years, people would be like, you don't know what you're talking about. I do. This is what you do. Sometimes you throw it out because, especially when you get to higher elos, stuff like that matters a ton. It's not that it can't matter in low elo, but a lot of people in lower elos don't know what they're doing or how to close out a game, for example. So there's certain conditions that are kind of different in lower elos. In higher elos, stuff like that matters. Stuff like even throwing the rocket down the lane to use the AoE when it hits somebody to clear the minion wave so they can stop attacking the tower matters. Obviously, you're like, no, it's just you gotta be killing somebody or nothing. I mean, it's nice, don't get me wrong. Jinx is a snowball and get that rolling is pretty fun, but it's not the only use of the Super Mega Death Rocket. So when we talked about this last week, I was mentioning it from a standpoint of, oh, something else is coming, and now they won't have to nerf Jinx when that comes, which we know, by the way, is the crit item changes. They're getting a lot of changes. We're probably going to talk about that for next week's episode when all of the changes have officially come out, and we can kind of put them all together. But it's looking kind of fun, and it's definitely a crit, a buff for crit AD carries like Jinx. And now, by doing something like this, and maybe getting her play rate down, at least in the higher elos, they probably won't have to nerf her when those come out. Or every AD carry is getting washed when it comes out, and we're back to mage bot lanes. Probably not. I'm going to be hopeful. Karma, Q slow increased, RE shield on secondary targets increased, bonus move speed increased. Kassadin, E damage decreased. Malzahar, Q mana cost decreased, E cooldown decreased. Master Yi, E bonus true damage decreased. Olaf, Q damage decreased, bonus damage to monsters increased, R passive resistances decrease. Pike, W mana cost increased, cooldown increased. Seraphine, Q AP ratio increased. Now why is the Seraphine subreddit on fire? That's a buff, isn't it? Talia, Q mana cost increased, damage to monsters decreased. Twitch, base health decreased, health growth increased, W slow AP ratio decreased, but R bonus AD so he's getting nerfed across the board. Like once the Infinity Edge stuff comes in, this is what I thought we were going to see more for Jinx and other AD carries, to be honest. Looks like they went with this with Twitch, and then when the crit items come in the next patch that are getting buffed in various ways, they'll kind of balance this more out. But for this patch, body Twitch. I hope you get Twitch in your games. Maybe not, because Twitch and Jinx, the way they interact is still a little bit, can be annoying, but potentially, maybe not, because the only thing that's really getting touched is really the early game Super Mega Death Rocket, by the way. Late game, the cooldown's actually a buff, and we talked about that last week too. Urgot, armor growth decreased. Cool. When you combine that with some bug fixes, the upcoming skins for Empyrean Akali, Empyrean Brand, Empyrean Kale, Empyrean Malzahar, Empyrean Nocturne, Empyrean Varus, and Prestige Empyrean Kale, and yourself with completed patch notes for patch 14.9 of League of Legends. Everything else in these patch notes do not matter. That is all from this video from me. So thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, the actual subscribe button. But I don't know which video will be next, because I think I have a lot of kinks. So until this time, take care. ggGetJinxed. Thank you for watching, and enjoy pizza responsibly. Bye-bye.